Today we're covering the slides on safely managing your weight. All right, so how much should a person weigh? Well, it depends. A person's weight is determined by various factors, including heredity, their level of activity, and their body composition. Remember what that is, how much body fat a person has compared to their muscle and bone. The link that is on here are 5 different ways that a person can have their body composition tested, body fat tested. So you can take a look at that. Some of them are very expensive, but very accurate. Some of them might be very hard to find. Some of them might be things that you have at home. Some of them might be devices like this skin fold caliper. I'll show in front of the camera here. Something like this, where we measure the thickness of your skin fold, which measures your skin and fat. So there's a variety of ways to have your body fat tested, but that's, as I have said many times, probably the best way to indicate if you are at a healthy weight or not. So the weight that is right for you is a weight that you're happy with and a weight that doesn't present any health risks. So if you're happy with your weight and your doctor hasn't shown any concern about your weight, then it's probably an okay weight for you. All right, we've talked about the term body mass index before, and body mass index is a ratio of your weight to height. It's a calculation. You can see the formula there. On the HyperDoc for today, there is a BMI calculator for kids that you can plug your numbers into, and it will tell you your status. For adults, you can see the little BMI table on the left side. For your results, it would classify you as being either underweight, normal or healthy weight, overweight, or obese. On the bottom right side of the screen, we've seen this picture a few times, and there's a discussion question today related to this picture as well. But you can see there are definitely flaws with body mass index because it's only taking into account your height and your weight. These two men obviously have the same BMI simply because they have the same exact height and weight. So it is a tool to help you figure out if you're at a healthy weight. Many doctors still use this tool. Not the best way, especially if you are, somebody with very lean body mass index somebody like the guy on the left that has a lot of muscle tissue. It is a tool, though, something that's used, so it's something that we need to cover. All right, so what's the difference between overweight and obesity? Well, they fall in 2 different categories on the BMI tables. A person who's overweight is a person that's heavier than what's recommended for their weight. It puts excess burden, and causes issues on their body. And for obesity, it's all of that, but it's usually worse. The BMI is higher. A BMI of 30 or higher would classify somebody as obese. Some of the health risks of being overweight or obese are high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke, certain cancers, just about every type of cancer. So we increase our risk of all of these things when we are overweight or obese. And that's just a small list. We could probably do research and add 20 more things to this list. Just like being overweight presents some health risks, being underweight presents some health risks as well. So underweight means a person is lighter than what is recommended for their height. On the BMI table, their BMI would be less than 18.5. Some health risks would be things like having anemia, which is low levels of iron in their blood, heart irregularities, trouble regulating their body temperature. Those are a couple things. And I want to remind you all that there are many reasons why a person might be overweight and underweight that they have no control over. Sometimes we're very quick to judge people Um, but when we get to know people, there might be some underlying health issues, medications, food intolerances that can all contribute to a person's weight. Okay, but there are some things that we can do. So think about what we can do, what we have control over. How can a person manage their weight? So, sensible weight management involves avoiding dangerous diet plans, choosing nutritionally balanced meals and snacks, and getting regular exercise. So, what does it mean what is a dangerous diet plan? That would be something like a fad diet, which is a diet that's very popular for a short time. Diet aids would be like diet pills, and then fasting for more than a brief period of time. Many of these approaches are unrealistic and unsafe and difficult to maintain long term. All right, so a fad diet is a diet, as I said, that's very popular for a short time. It might help a person lose weight or gain weight, but it probably doesn't teach them how to eat healthy. So, proper nutrition and exercise is sometimes thrown out the window, and instead, a person follows maybe a very strict diet plan. And there went my lights. All right, so some risks of a fad diet is that our weight loss is usually temporary. Um, Severe food restriction can cause a person to become bored easily and then return to their original eating habits without learning how to eat healthy. Diet aids are diet pills, which are supposed to suppress or decrease your appetite. They may help a person lose weight, but usually not effective for long term weight control. And oftentimes, those diet pills can be habit forming. They may have caffeine or amphetamines in them. That those ingredients can cause a person to feel very nervous and anxious and have trouble sleeping. It can lead to high blood pressure. And then fasting for more than a brief period of time can lead to health problems as well. So, when I'm talking about fasting for today, I'm not talking about intermittent fasting. A person who is intermittent fasting is eating during the day, but during a time period. What we're talking about here is basically a person who's not eating in order to lose weight. Like, I'm not going to eat all week so I can fit into this dress on Saturday night. So, the problem with that type of fasting is that the body doesn't know that you're going to eat Saturday night. And so the body starts to break down muscle tissue to get the nutrients it needs. It can stunt your growth. It can strain your organs. Your hair can start to fall out if you're doing this long term. It can affect your menstrual cycles for females. So, not healthy. So, what can we do? Losing weight sensibly and safely requires thought, planning, and patience. Remember, a person doesn't become overweight overnight. It took some time. So it's going to take some time to lose weight effectively as well. So we want to recognize our current eating patterns, plan helpful strategies, and can't forget about exercise. So, how can you recognize your eating patterns? Well, you can write it down or track it. Keep a diary of your current eating habits. Record the foods that you eat and when you eat them. You might discover eating patterns that you were not aware of. You might identify triggers for overeating, such as boredom or stress. So, when you start to pay attention to what you're eating, you start to recognize some of these patterns. Like maybe as soon as I get home from school every day, I sit on the couch with a box of Cheez Its, and before I know it, the whole thing is gone. Or maybe I realize when I'm doing my homework, I'm just kind of bored and eating while I'm working and not paying attention to what you're eating. Maybe stress or strong emotions causes a person to eat. Some helpful strategies to lose weight would be to eat smaller portions, eat your food slowly, and enjoy its taste. They say it takes about 20 minutes for our brain to realize that our stomach is full. Try not to eat while watching TV or reading because we aren't usually paying attention to how much we're eating in those cases. Take a walk or do something active instead of eating if you're just bored. And if you do overeat occasionally, everybody does. Don't get upset about it. Just return to your sensible eating habits right away. All right, we can't forget about exercise. A weight loss program is far more effective if we also include exercise. If you just decrease your calories but don't exercise, you can actually slow down your metabolism. As a result, your body doesn't burn calories as efficiently as it used to. Weight loss can slow down or stop, even though you're consuming fewer calories. And this is because your body doesn't understand what's going on. Your body thinks that it is starving. And so your metabolism will slow down to hold on to all of the stored energy that you have, and it will release it very, very slowly. All right, so we've talked a little bit about weight loss. Let's also talk about weight gain because there's a lot of people that want to gain weight as well. We want to make sure we're gaining healthy weight, though. Don't want to gain fat. So, what can we do? Increase your calorie intake while making sure to eat a balanced diet and exercise. So, some things we can do are avoid snacks right before your meal times. If you're snacking before your meal, probably snacking on foods that aren't super nutritious and therefore not eating as much at your meal. If you do snack, choose nutrient dense foods. Don't decrease your fat intake over what's recommended. Try not to skip meals. At meal times, take bigger helpings, especially bigger helpings of those healthy foods. And don't neglect exercise, which helps you to maintain your fitness level and also to build muscle and gain healthy muscle mass. All right, that's the end of the slideshow. If you have any questions, please send me an email.